Welcome to the Mindset Unleashed Today podcast. My name is Tommy Gucciardo, and I'm excited to share my insights and experiences with you to help you shift your mindset and improve your life. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring different areas of life, discussing how to make positive changes. Now, I'll be doing this by interviewing guests who can provide additional perspectives and their experiences. I believe that by making a mindset shift, we can all unleash our full potential and create the lives we want to live. I hope you'll join me on this journey. Welcome to the Mindset Unleashed podcast, where we focus on the power of the mind and how it transforms your life on a daily basis. I'm your host, Tommy Gucciardo, and today we have a special guest today. This guy, I love stories like this. Played college ball, no scholarship, ended up becoming a pro, went overseas, played overseas, was his own agent, has his own branding company, and now he's a trainer for NBA and WNBA players. And I want to introduce you to Marcus Patterson.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
I love what you're doing here.
Thank you.
I'm just grateful to be here.
Good. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you went from playing college ball, no scholarship, to being in the pros?
Yeah. So for me, really, I've always loved basketball growing up, watching my older brother play.
Mm-hmm.
And just watching him having success, I wanted to be just like him.
Okay.
And seeing him play and just having the respect in New York, I wanted that.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately he got hurt. But my other older brother, Tyshawn, who I now work with, he ended up going to Division I and had a really long and successful professional career.
Okay.
6 years
Nice.
professionally, and now training NBA and WNBA athletes. And he's probably one of the best trainers that I've personally seen. And that, I'm not being biased.
Now, is that because he's your brother?
No,
or?
not because, I'm telling
Okay.
you, he has a gift.
Okay.
But now, working alongside with him, obviously just playing professionally for 5 years. And for me, I think the special thing about me, like you said, I didn't have scholarships. I wasn't your top guy who you go to. It wasn't like that. So everything you see here today, that what I have, I did that myself, just learning and growing my own personal brand.
Right.
And then obviously, just executing on the court.
So that's got to be tough. Like what kind of mindset do you have for, just trying to get to the pros? Because it's tough to get, even
sure.
even into Division I.
Yeah, it's tough.
But you did it.
It's hard. And I always say this now, especially being around like a lot of Division I and NBA guys. I don't have that experience. I don't even know what it's like to be a Division I athlete.
Right.
I have no idea what
Okay.
it's like. I played Division III. I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
But one thing I could tell you, none of those guys, and they can account for this and attest to this, I work hard, and you're not going to outwork me.
There's nothing about, like, you can't teach anybody that.
Can't teach that. I got heart.
No, yeah, that's something, like I look at a guy like, I'm sorry to stop you, but like a guy like Derek Jeter. He was never a great ball player, but he just played with heart and determination, and that's something that's instilled in somebody. That's something you can't can't go to a trainer and say, how do you give me heart?
Right.
That's something you have to have in you.
Yeah, you just gotta have that in you. And for me, I've always stuck with that. I've always played with a chip on my shoulder. And whether I'm playing or whether it's in the business side of things,
Right.
I always have that chip on my shoulder.
Right.
So that's just what I've stuck with, and that's what I'm
Listen, whatever gets you to where you have to be, right?
just gonna stick to what got me here.
Right. So now you were your own agent?
Yeah. So played for 5 years. About 2 years, I was my own agent. I'm telling you, it was the hardest thing of my life.
Why was it hard?
Stressful, trying to talk to a bunch of teams, negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know really what I was doing. And then, honestly, while I was going through the process of, like, talking to teams and having teams tell me, okay, yeah, we'll do this, and things not going that way, it was just stressful. I was sitting at home watching people sign contracts, and I'm just waiting. But, it taught me a lot. It taught me patience.
Mm-hmm.
It taught me how to be a better negotiator. And just honestly really trying to get the things that I actually wanted out of the season. So that was really it. It was a great experience.
So what made you? Did you have a bad issue with you have an issue with an agent?
Well, honestly, I just think I didn't have me and my agents, all the agents that I've worked with and had in the past, we still have great relationships. I just think that, sometimes as a player, sometimes you just outgrow certain situations.
Right.
And they've already done everything that was needed for me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it upon myself to just go out there and see what I could do personally. And here I am.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Listen, it's something you sound to me, you have a entrepreneurial like mindset, right? So you want to learn everything, every aspect of the business, and it probably is helping you now, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, while I was doing all that stuff, I had no idea that I was going to be doing this, what I'm doing today. And now that I look at it, it's like, wow, I'm sitting back doing all the branding for myself, the PR, speaking to teams, and I look at all that stuff now. It's like, man, if I could do it for myself,
you could do it for other people.
Exactly.
So did you start a business of branding other athletes or other people?
Yeah, so that's currently in the process right now with my brother and I and our company, Training Passion Inc.
Okay.
So on the training side, we do train athletes. We have about 50 to 60 athletes, not including our professional athletes in our program.
Okay.
And most of our NBA and WNBA athletes, a lot of these guys don't really have a management team. So, my brother and I sat down one day and just spoke and said, hey, bro, I think there's space for you here to really just, get to know the players and help assist or be a part of their teams in terms of management.
Right.
And from there, kind of the rest was history. So right now we're in the process of building those stuff. Obviously, we're going to need funding and stuff like that from investors, which we do have. We have a lot of good people that's really backing us and has been helping us throughout this process. But that's just really what it is right now.
So let me step backwards. You said a lot of these guys don't have the management behind them?
Yeah, so like in the NBA, a lot of the guys have their own camp.
Right.
So whether they have a manager, then they have their PR team, but most of our guys really don't have a set full roster of, okay, this is my guy for this, X, Y, and Z.
Okay, I gotcha.
So, they originally wanted him to do it. Like, hey, Ty, come with me, come do this. But obviously, when you're running a business,
it's hard to do the other thing.
He can't, exactly, So that's when he got on the call. We just said, hey, bro, this
that's great. So, and that's good that you have a synergy and it's somebody that right? Yes. It's your brother, so you grew up with him.
Nothing better than working with your blood.
Well, I could, sometimes that's bad.
But it is. But for us, man, we work so well. It's like we complement each other. And I'm just grateful to be in this.
Right. Yeah, because you're not stepping on his toes where he's training people.
Right.
You're doing something that he needs to stimulate his business, so you're helping him grow.
Exactly.
And that's good. It's a whole family thing.
Keeping everything in the family.
Yeah.
And I'm big on that, and I'm big on relationships. And
good.
What I'm doing now, I really pride myself, especially when I'm with our athletes and parents and whoever it is. Relationships is the number one thing,
So where are most of your people from? Are they like high school people, or they're more NBA or ready to go to the NBA?
So I consult a lot of collegiate athletes, even some of our high school athletes in our program, just helping them with the college state of trying to get some schools and stuff like that. But mostly I am working with our pros.
And that's got to be overwhelming too. You know,
it is.
You're trying to compete with people, and then you're trying to, and even now with all these deals that they have in college, it's like now you're managing money or you're managing a brand, and when you just want to play and have fun and go to the pros. So you need a good team around you.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, I need a number 2. So tap in with me. All right. That's all I'm gonna
All
say.
right. Okay. So I guess you did a lot of overseas travel, right?
Yes.
So you're a New York guy. How did that feel?
Honestly, being from New York, it really allowed me to adapt much faster than a lot of other people. And for me, I never really explored New York the way how I explored going overseas. So when I first played in London, that was my first time, other than Jamaica, being out of the country.
Right.
So going to London was like, oh.
Got to be a little overwhelming, right?
Not overwhelming, but I was like, man, this is like New York. I just wanted to see everything and do everything.
Right.
And then as I got to my next country, Portugal, and I fell in love with just the lifestyle of Portugal and just the way they live and the great weather, I started to go out more. I'm like, and it started to think to me, like, I don't even go out in my own city. I live in New York.
Right. And you got so many things to do right in your backyard.
Yes. So that just allowed me and inspired me to just keep traveling and keep learning cultures.
Right.
And I adapted with that, and it was great.
And that's got to be good for the business too, because now you can go out to these countries and even, recruit some of them.
Yeah, having those relationships.
Right.
And still to this day, I get on the phone with a lot of my teammates and a lot of the great people that I've met in all these countries, and I can make that call and say, "Hey, bro, I'm coming here." They say, "You can stay with me. Don't worry. You don't got to get any hotels. Just
That's
come."
fun. That's good.
I'm cool with the family, and so it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Right. So tell us more about the business. Tell us more about Training Passions. Like, tell me more about, like, do you do like community work? Or
Yes. So we're heavily involved in the community. We have multiple partnerships within the community out in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my brother right now, we train. And for us, our training company, it's based like a school. So not anybody can just come in and say, "Hey."
I was going to ask you that. Is there criteria to get in there?
There's a criteria. So we train elite athletes. We train some of the most elite athletes. So think of your best high school kids or your best middle school kids coming in, and they come to train, and it's a commitment.
Right.
So that's where we develop those athletes, and the greatest thing about that is, like I said earlier, now we have that management side and we have that mentorship side in our program.
Now it's a full service house.
It's a full service house.
Right.
So it's great to work with the athletes, because not only are we teaching them basketball, and it's great, basketball is great, but it's bigger than that.
Right.
We're teaching these kids life.
Exactly.
Life skills.
You watch too many athletes and too many people. I guess they get caught up and, they get drafted and all these millions, like these dollars that are getting thrown around now.
Yes.
Like OG and Paul George, like 200, like.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
That's crazy, the amount of money.
It's a lot to deal with. Now you're getting a lot of outside sources, and it's a lot. And how do you handle that? And just knowing that you have people in your circle that actually genuinely care for you. It's not about the money.
And that's where you're important, because you could show somebody how you started with nothing,
right,
and went through the process of Division III to play professionally, become an agent. I mean, that's phenomenal, and to show a young kid that, there's other routes of this business also. You could play,
for sure,
and there's other aspects that you could do,
for sure.
If you're smart and you'll learn, and you stay with that mindset.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because even when I stopped playing basketball, honestly, at that time when I stopped, that was probably the most pivotal part of my career. I could have took a huge jump in my basketball career, and like I said, it's not about. It's just bigger than me. It's bigger than just basketball.
Right.
I feel like I'm in my purpose. I'm helping athletes and really giving them the real actual game. I've been around guys, agents and people who say, "Hey, I want to do this. I'll help you." And these people, they tell you what you want to hear. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I actually want to help athletes and not just tell them what they want to hear.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the key to this, I mean, it's finding a purpose in anything you do, right? Like my father always used to say, if you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And if you really, truly love something, it's not work, it's fun.
Right.
And I like that smile that you have. You have a smile on you, and every time you talk about it, you light up, and that's a great thing. That means you're loving what you're doing.
I love it. Just working with my brother, working with the athletes, and still being around the game of basketball.
Right.
There's moments where I get to teach sometimes. There's moments where I get on the court. I get to train here and there with them. I get to play with them. I still get to do what I'm doing when I was playing.
Right.
And I'm on the other side.
Right.
But it's a blessing.
So when you get an athlete, is it how do they commit to you? Like, is it a long-term process? Do you sign them, or is that part of the process?
Yeah, so each athlete is different. Maybe there might be one client who say, "You know what, Marcus, I want to put you on payroll, and I want you to be with me for a year, 2 years, and this is what I need, X, Y, and Z." And there's some guys who just say, "Hey, can you come with me for 3 weeks? I'm on the road, or I have a home stretch, and I'll go with them during the home, and we'll go over things like film. We'll break down. We'll get shots up. I'll let them know, okay, this is where you have this certain reads on the court, and this is what you could be doing better."
Right.
Or and there's just other things where there's mindset stuff where we're practicing getting up every day and just practicing good habits, making your bed, praying, meditation. It's just a lot of different things.
Those are great things that people don't have in their life.
Just
and
a lot of different things for athletes that we need in order to be at peace, because we're already good at basketball.
Right.
We wouldn't be here if you weren't good. It's about your daily routines and how you feel when you get up. Now you can go in the game, man, I feel good. I'm about to kill today. I'm getting 30.
Right.
You know, I spoke to my mom, I spoke to my dad, I spoke to my wife, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Everybody's good, family's good. I feel great. I got out today. I did some active recovery. I'm in the communities. I'm talking to people. I'm ready to hoop.
So that's what you do with these people.
That's what I do, and I teach them how to do it and how to balance it.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's a blessing.
Yeah, because you could see. I mean, I would think, you know, it's easy to, like, even at college or on the road, just to get caught up and, you know, not do anything. Yeah. Sit and play video games or just sit and do nothing.
And when I was overseas, I didn't do that. I was out traveling. I had different friends other than my teammates.
Right.
You know, whether it was business owners, going into whether it was clubs, restaurants, or whatever it was a local person on the street that I seen every day when I was walking.
Right.
I spoke to everybody.
Right.
I had those relationships with everyone, and that's what made it a wonderful experience, because now you're fulfilling yourself internally.
Right. I guess I would see maybe, like, you know, like LeBron, he just can't walk out of his house and
that's a different level.
Go stop at the local Starbucks and get Starbucks, you know.
That's a different level.
But he has to have a routine also, right? Whether he's in his house, whether he's not in it, you know, whatever his routine is, because that's what gets you to where you want to be. Yep. It's doing those same things over, those same habits every single day that get you to the next level.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it's all about staying consistent.
And that's good that you're working with a lot of the younger guys too.
Yeah, I don't, just because someone plays in the NBA, that doesn't mean I'm too good enough to work with someone. Right. I know you have aspirations and dreams, and you want to get to maybe this level, or maybe you want to go overseas, or maybe you just want to get a scholarship to go to college.
Right.
I want to help you.
That's great.
Whatever it is, and you have a goal, and you come to me and say, hey, Marcus, I need help with, you know, going to college. I need help with a recommendation. How do I put my film together and send out to coaches or agents? Come to me. I will help you.
So how long has this training passion been around?
So we've been in business for 4 years. We established ourselves in 2020, and we're growing.
Good. So, and you have one location where your main
location in Orlando, Florida, right by the airport.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll have people flying in from.
We have people flying in all the time, and a lot of our pros really just say, "Hey, I'm looking to come in and just get some work in." So it's good. We've worked with a lot of different NBA, WNBA athletes, and it's a blessing.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. So where do you think the business is going to go? What's the future for the business?
So we're really looking to open up our nonprofit. I think we'll be able to do a lot more opportunities, not only for ourselves, but for our athletes and the people in the communities.
And what's the nonprofit? It's for the community of Orlando, or just in general?
Just in general. I think once we have our nonprofit, which we will, and we're in the current process of doing, then we'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. That's great.
Yeah, and we're just still just staying steady. We're doing amazing. So just probably looking for a few more employees, but so
listen, you know, the one thing about that is, I'll tell you, because you know, you have to take it as it comes, right? So don't get more staff and overburden yourself with no work, right? Because then you have to pay those people.
Right.
When you get to the point where you can't handle it on, you bring a little bit along. Because some people make that mistake of expanding too big and too quick, and now they have big payrolls or they have big operating expenses, and then they're not doing the business that they want to do. Do what you're doing, man. You know, have that passion.
No, for sure.
And then bring the right people in.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the key, bringing the right people in that have the same vision as you.
Yeah, that's the key. It's the right people. My brother says that all the time.
Yeah, because it's great. You could hire anybody. Yeah. You want to hire somebody that has that smile on their face when they're working with somebody, when they're talking about the business, because that that means something. Yeah, that means something. So your brother, he trains? He's strictly the trainer?
Strictly the trainer, head trainer. And it's funny how his story is, because hopefully we get him on this podcast.
We'll get him on too. Yeah. We'll bring him on.
Yeah, real good guy. You know, when he was playing professionally, he actually told me a story that I didn't even know. And he looked at me and he said, Marcus, I was playing basketball, playing pro. And the way how I worked out, all the guys are like, "What are you doing? Dude, train me."
Right.
And then from that point on, he said, "That's when I knew I had a gift."
Right.
From just grasping everyone's attention. I had professional guys coming to me as their own teammates and professional colleague, right, saying, "Hey, train me." And from that moment on, the rest was kind of history.
So you both kind of have the same kind of thing, right? You both like stumbled across something, and that's a good story.
Yeah,
that's a good story.
So we worked hand in hand together, and I love him, man.
Oh, that's great. Listen, you just keep on plugging along. You keep on doing the same thing you're doing, right? You just keep on working at what you're doing, and you're going to grow something. And you said you were looking for some funding also?
Yes. We want to expand. We really would love to get a bigger gym space.
Right.
But we know that takes funding, so just looking for the right
Money's
people.
always...
Yeah, it's but we're working.
But you got to, take
our time.
Take your time, like it's if you got some quality, you make it quality. It's easy to make things bigger than what they are.
Right.
You make people want to come to you.
Yeah. So we're just slow and steady wins the race.
Of course, 100%, 100%. So being overseas, was there any how was the playing ball over there?
It was great.
The same kind of grind as it is here, or?
Well, honestly, when I played in Albania, that was for me, it was just man, this is a lot. We had 2-3 practices a day. I'm training hard just to play 1 or 2 games a week.
Really?
I'm like, sheesh.
You practice twice a day to play?
Man, I'm telling you, we had 2 practices a day, team lift, go watch film, and you're really just playing on a Saturday. And depending on what league you're in, you might play some other cup games, or you might travel somewhere and play during the week. But most cases, you're really just playing 1 game a week. And I'm telling you, to do all that training to play 1 game a week was insane.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, as an American, we playing games every other day or damn near every day.
Right.
So, but it was great overseas, especially when you're American and they're not familiar with just an American being over there. You feel like you're in the NBA.
Right.
So you feel like I go over there, I feel like Jordan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. They saw you coming. They have asking for autographs and everything.
Asking for autographs and a lot of those stuff. So it was cool. Even the fans to this day, they're writing me on Instagram. Hey, come back, and then
really,
come back, Patterson. We need you.
That's great, though.
So it's awesome.
That's great that you were able to do that. Like people, the amount of people that actually try to get drafted or try to play professionally anywhere.
Yeah.
Whether NBA or overseas, it's still a lot. That's a lot to be noted for your skills, right?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's not easy, and I even till this day, I really think about it now that I'm not playing. I'm doing 3-4 workouts a day.
Really?
Busting my ass.
Why? Because you're helping the guys, you're playing with them, or just?
No, when I was playing.
Oh, okay.
During the time when I was playing and I was training up to getting ready to prepare to go overseas, half the days I didn't even know where I was going. And I'm training 3-4 times a day, killing my body just to stay in shape and be ready.
Right.
And it's the hardest thing to working towards something where you can't see where you're going.
Right.
It's a very difficult thing to stay motivated like that. But now that I think about it, and I'm with the guys now who play in the NBA and they train and they do all that stuff, I'm like, man, this is amazing. You get to get up every day and just go to the gym.
Right.
For your job.
Right.
It's amazing.
Like that shouldn't even be a job, right?
It's not even. Yeah, it's like
that should be fun.
It's fun,
right?
So that's.
I guess when you're throwing up like Steph Curry throws up like 500 shots in practice.
Yeah,
I don't know how much fun that could be.
I'm telling you, and man, it's painful, but you have to go through those experiences because by the time the game comes, the game is easy.
Right.
That's the easy.
It's all
part.
the lead up to the game.
It's all the lead up. People don't see that. So when you're in there and you're by yourself and you're exhausting yourself and really pushing your past your limits, that's when you know, okay, I'm here, I'm ready.
Right.
So that was the best part about it.
Who was? Do you have somebody that you played against that? Anybody?
I played against Jimmer Fredette.
Okay.
And,
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, Jimmer Fredette. I actually played against him in Sacramento for the Jamaican national team versus Team USA.
Oh, really?
So that was pretty cool to play against him, and he's from New York,
Yeah.
obviously upstate. So Jimmer, everybody knows.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That was cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But that's really it. I played against a lot of guys, but not like professionally. That was like probably like professionally wise. That was probably one of like, oh, it's Jimmer.
Do you see the difference playing with a guy like that? Even though he might have not been like a Jordan or a LeBron, but do you see the difference in quality?
You can definitely tell who's an NBA guy, who's
Right.
not an NBA guy, who's an overseas.
Right.
You can definitely tell that.
Listen, I'm sure everybody has. It's still tough to play ball.
Yeah, like it's definitely different levels, but mainly it's really body type. It's like the eye test, and then there's just some guys who are just machines.
Right. Doesn't matter where they are.
Doesn't matter. You can just tell. Oh, he's different.
Right.
So I think that's the main factor.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But I hold my own against anybody. So any of y'all.
No, I know that. I can tell that.
I know right now. I still got it.
I can tell.
Yeah, I can, and I compete.
Yeah.
You're
not giving up.
Who it is, I go out there and compete.
All right.
But that's why they respect me. They know.
There you go.
They know.
That's it,
Y'all
man. You
know.
just got to do what you do, man.
I know. But yeah.
All right, that's cool, man. That's really, like I love stories like this because that gives you hope, right? Yeah. It gives that guy hope that maybe is playing on the varsity or that he can get there and he can go through the process. He might be the 10th man on a team.
And you can.
Right.
It don't matter if you're good enough and you work hard. Somebody will find you.
And you got the mindset for it. And I know it's not teachable, but some of that rubs off on people. If they follow and they listen to what you're saying and they listen to your story and they really pay attention, that does.
And that's a big part of like my management.
Right.
For me, I really like to really just pick the brains like just of my guys and just really kind of showing them like, there's different approaches to things.
Right.
Try this, maybe this might work.
Right.
Because there are millions of ways to win.
Right.
So if something doesn't work, there's another way of doing it.
Right. You just got to be open to it.
Exactly. So I'm
you can't be one-dimensional. You got to be open to stuff. You got to be teachable, right?
Yes. So, I think they see that, and I'm grateful that they listen to me and that they're open to even receiving information and trying to learn. So that's awesome.
No, that's great. That's great. Well, it's definitely a pleasure to have you here. Why don't you tell everybody, where to find you, how to find your academy?
So, trainingpassioninc.com. And then my Instagram is _Pat4. And Tyshawn's Instagram is trainingpassioninc. So, definitely tap in, give us a follow, email. Everything is all on the website and on our pages, on our Instagram and social pages. So, definitely tap in with us, and we'll love to help you if you want the help.
All right. Thanks for coming down. We really appreciate it. Love your story. And I wish you all the best in everything you do. I know you're going to be successful. I know this academy is going to be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming down today. And once again, we'll see you next week.